folks, I'm Vasel here.
Zee Garcia, what's happening, everybody?
Sam Healey, hello.
This isn't about games.
What?
So if you hear about games, turn it off. Every once in a while, we will do an extra top 10 list about something in pop culture for no other reason than it's fun, and it's, sometimes it's nice to talk about things that aren't games.
And we like to take bets on how many times Sam is going to start one of his numbers by saying, this game... no, wait. My over-under is he will do it 3 times.
At least once, probably.
We will see. Anyway, today we're talking about movies that need a sequel, deserve a sequel. We want a sequel for them.
Should have had a sequel.
Okay.
That's right. And also we are making sure that we do not pick, as far as we are aware of, games that... movies that don't have a sequel in the works. Again, as far as we know, these movies do not have a sequel in the works.
Well, okay. I didn't even bother looking.
I did not look either. I'm just saying, if I'm aware there's a sequel coming, and I'm very excited, it's not going on the list.
There's at least 1 or 2 on my list, I think, that have had rumored, or maybe there is in development, I don't know. But I haven't seen a trailer. If I haven't seen a trailer for it, then I didn't count it.
Well, there's a couple I did not put on my list because I know that there's a sequel in the works.
Right.
He's gonna
Avatar is not on my list because there's a sequel in the works. And Pacific Rim is not on the list.
Oh, okay. I didn't put either one of those on my
Because
list.
there's a
I feel better now.
Also,
Those 2
I'm
are
not-
definitely not on.
I'm not counting, I didn't count redos, where they're rehashing, because I've heard that one of mine might get a redo.
Okay.
And I'm not counting that because that's not a sequel.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I also didn't pick any that were sequels. I didn't be like, oh, they need a 3rd movie in this.
Oh, yeah, no.
That you did?
Shut your mouth!
I didn't. Why would you do that? What?
Because I want
As I was going through.
I want Rocky 8!
No.
Balboa 2!
It's Creed 2, dude.
Creed 2.
As I was going through these movies, some of them were sequels. I'm like, this is stupid. That movie is a sequel. It doesn't need a sequel.
Oh,
What?
it needs a sequel.
Oh, you looked at other people's listings and stuff?
Yeah, of course.
Plagiarist. All
I'm
right,
not a plagiarist. This is my list.
here we go. Oh, is that your first one?
Negative.
Frozen 2, Back to the Tundra. That's what it's called. Let it.
All right, my number 10 is a. See, I almost said game, but I didn't.
I almost had him.
1, 2, 0.
Yes.
My number 10 is a movie that it's a Western that I really have enjoyed watching over and over and over again since it came out. This movie is called Silverado, and it's about how these 2 brothers are moving out west, and they run into trouble with different kinds of bad guys, mean guys that are in power because they're bullies, basically. And they start
Gene
sticking up
Hackman,
for...
basically.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he has a patent on that part.
Yeah, pretty much, yes. But it's not Gene Hackman in this one.
He's suing.
He's close, but...
Yes.
Anyway, the way the movie ended with the main bad guy being taken care of and all of the good guys settling into these different positions of authority and really changing the town for the better, left me wanting to see what happens next. How does it turn out? It ended on a good note, yes, but there could always be another bad guy right around the corner. How are they going to handle him? And I really wanted that sequel, and it never happened. And so my number 10, Silverado.
All right. I almost wanted to put for my number 10, The Matrix. Because
Wow, that's a low blow.
Yeah, it is.
but I put a movie that's very similar to The Matrix, in which I think I almost would rather watch than The Matrix, just because I want to see more of this universe. And the Gun Fu, I think is what it was called, or whatever it was called. Gun Kata, and that is Equilibrium.
Gun kata, but yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Equilibrium.
I'm sorry, I didn't put the accent mark on the right A.
Anyway, I thought Equilibrium was a very underrated movie that a lot of people haven't talked about, and I really love. It's dumb, but I love the idea that you can go in a room and you know where everybody's going to shoot, so you're not there. that's silly, but it was something I hadn't seen before. And the whole thing went, it was that whole typical overthrow the bad guy. And then it ended, and I'm like, oh, I could watch another movie in that universe. What happens next, I think, would be fascinating. Just because I want to see more of that, those fight sequences.
Yeah.
It was like Matrix, but not that whole inside the computer thing, but more like this is what really is happening.
That's a good one.
It was one of the main
Maybe a
movies that
prequel.
Sean Bean dies.
Dude, spoilers.
Just saying. That's not a spoiler. That happens like, 15
If Sean
minutes
Bean's in the movie,
movie.
he's gonna
die.
I think that'd be cool. Maybe a prequel in that world, because by the end of the movie, it's like, well, whatever's next is gonna be radically different.
I don't know.
That's
You
true.
still got people hooked on that juice that they were having to take every day for 3 times a day. So
It's like a movie about. It's like Narc, the movie, basically at that point. Stop taking that stuff. Feel something. Start feeling.
Yeah.
All right. My number 10 is, again, one of those movies that I'm not sure how they would tackle a sequel, but it's that same thing. I want to return to that world, and not even the world that much, but that character and the main character. Movie's Unbreakable.
Cool.
And
cool.
Unbreakable was one of those early M. Night Shyamalan movies that I thought was just brilliant. The writing was good. The vibe of the movie was very outside of the norm. It felt like the pacing was very deliberate and strange. In my opinion, it's his best movie, which is probably not saying much because that director has sort of lost his mind. But
He's so gentle.
like,
He's
seriously?
sort of lost his mind.
Like, seriously? He's
No. His movies are just now have become. He went from like The Sixth Sense, and everybody was like, "Have you seen The Sixth Sense?" It was that kind of movie you spoke about in Whispers.
I figured that one
To
halfway
like
through the show.
Avatar or whatever, and like his movies After Earth was his. I think his movies have just kind of
That John Travolta movie?
Maybe that's not
No,
his.
that was
After
Battlefield
Earth.
Earth. Sorry.
After Earth might not be
After
his.
Earth was with Will
That's my
Smith
number
and his
9.
son.
Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan, he did the one where like the wind is killing people or something. I heard was very bad. The Happening.
The Happening. You haven't seen that one?
I haven't seen it, but his movies is just not. Unbreakable is really cool. It's almost a superhero movie,
It is.
but it doesn't treat it that way.
True.
You know what I mean? So anyway, that's my number 10. I would love to see more of that world.
All right. I think this is going to be a popular theming here where you want to see more of the world, and that's where I am on my number 9, even though it's been like 20 some years since this movie's come out. I love Dick Tracy. I like the whole concept. I know that movie's not on a lot of people's lists of movies that they love, but I love the theming. I loved how everyone wore bright yellow fedoras, and they had those it was like right out of the comics.
You wanted to fit in, that's why.
Yeah, I just wanted this to come to life. No, but I just loved
That's the best burn I've heard in a while.
the caricatures of the bad guys, and the whole thing was just like a comic book come to life to some degree, and I enjoyed that. I liked it a lot, and it ended, and there was that everyone's shooting machine guns everywhere, and it's crazy fun, and I want to see more of that. I would have liked to see a TV series based on that.
I didn't like the guy who played Dick Tracy, and I also didn't like, was it Madonna in this one, or somebody?
Yeah.
I just didn't. That just turned me off right there at the very beginning.
I guess I really like the bad guys. I don't think any of them made it to be in the sequel, but you didn't like, was it Warren Beatty?
Yeah, I don't
You didn't like him? I love the kid character though a lot.
I don't remember it.
All right. Well, anyway, I like Dick Tracy. All right. What do you got?
All right, my number 9 is, again, a movie. I'm not sure how they would tackle a sequel, but I would love to see something. It's that movie that makes me go, what's next? And that's Contact.
Really?
Again,
Is that because nothing happened in the movie?
I like Contact a lot, and yeah, I understand that you could watch it and go, wow, nothing happens. But I like the character development in the movie a lot, and I like the concept behind the movie a lot. I like this idea that, again, spoilers, guys, but this movie's old.
Spoilers for the whole list. I'm not gonna not talk about stuff.
I like the idea that she visits this world but comes back and then has nothing to show for it. What's next? Even in the movie when she makes that journey to another place, this being she talks to goes, "This is just a first step. There will be more." There's this speech that she gets. And that's what I want to. Yeah, what? Yeah, what's next? You know, are we getting another signal from space? What's happening? Is she been discredited? You know, is she now someone who no one respects? That's what I want to see.
Right, no one believed her, right?
Right. So I just think it would be really interesting and clever if something else came out of this.
To be fair, I wouldn't have believed her either.
That's true. I mean, right? It's a hard thing to believe. So, Contact, my number 9. In the same vein, I think would be cool. Dramatic, interesting.
Cut right to Interstellar. It has the same kind of feel.
Kind of, yeah.
All right, my number 9 is a movie that has dragons in it, and it's not a fantasy movie, but it still has dragons in it.
What has dragons and is not a fantasy movie?
That one in the future?
Oh, jeez.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. Rain of Fire.
Rain of Fire.
Oh, that's a good choice.
I mean, I really enjoyed that whole movie. It wasn't really critically acclaimed. They didn't really give a lot of love to this movie.
It sucked.
But I really enjoyed it. I loved the part right in the middle where they're at they're Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey are reenacting. No, not Matthew McConaughey. What's the other guy's name?
Oh, that is the guy from...
London Has Fallen.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name now. Gerard.
Butler?
Gerard Butler.
Yeah, that's it.
Where they're reenacting Star Wars as a play.
For the kids.
I
Really
like
cool.
that scene,
But
yes.
then, at the end, Matthew McConaughey, the big, roughneck American driving a big old tank.
Funniest performance by Matthew McConaughey ever, too.
Exactly.
Oh, it's the best.
And he's actually trying to hunt these things that are causing terror to the entire countryside.
Right,
and he gets these people to come help him. And they finally go and kill the big guy.
The bull.
And then the movie's over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. There's like hundreds of dragons left.
Well, the plot is that there's a single male.
Right.
But, so they kill it, and it's like, okay, they'll eventually die out. But you're right, that world is rich for mining.
There's still a lot of dragons flying around. And so I would have loved to see them, instead of just the little, end scene where they're like going to this radio tower and they're finally hearing other people that are out there. Okay, and then the credits roll. No, come on. You didn't do it service, you didn't do it justice. Rain of Fire needs a part 2.
If it came out today, at the very end of the movie, they would like do a close up on another egg or something, and it was a male.
And it would like crack.
And it would crack, and it would say underneath in credits, this is a male. Dumb audience. You know what I mean? They would do that today because you need to set up for that sequel, even if you only make $12. Yeah, no, that was a good choice, man. I like that.
Thank you.
My number 8 is an older James Cameron movie that didn't get anything else after the original one, and I think it could. The Abyss. The Abyss is a big alien movie where when the aliens finally sort of do something to show their presence, then the movie's over, and and so it's that like ooh-ah kind of aliens. I want to see what's next in that world, especially in a world that is now aware of those aquatic aliens, right? So
that sounds like a trailer line. In a world where aquatic aliens are now aware.
James Cameron, King of the World, brings you Titanic 2 Resurrection.
Is this a zombie movie?
No, it's combining the aliens with the they're bringing up the Titanic and going, is this yours? I think The Abyss 2 would be a really cool movie. Again, a lot of these are movies that I'm imagining in my head going, ooh, I want to see more in that place.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would do it, but that's why I want to go see it by like a smarter guy than I, you know what I mean? So The Abyss 2 would be really awesome.
Mm-hmm. All right, what do you got?
Cool. My number 8 is a game that I did it.
Yes, baby! 1, 2, 1!
Okay, that's 1. I said I would do it once.
We're tied.
All right.
Mortal Kombat. Annihilation, which is on my list.
My number 8 is a movie that after I saw it, I immediately wanted to see a sequel of it because I really enjoyed the main character's performance in it. It was an amazing performance. Unfortunately, that actor has since passed away. So how they would do a sequel for it now is beyond me. But I really wanted to see a Mrs. Doubtfire 2. I really wanted to see a Mrs. Doubtfire 2 because I wanted to see
What would be the plot?
I don't know, but see, that's the thing. That's the cool thing about it. How is he? It would have been cool, I think, to where he would have had to keep up that Mrs. Doubtfire persona for the outside world, and then near the end of the movie, he's finally able to put that character to rest, and the mom and dad reconcile, and the family gets back together. I thought that would have been a really neat end to that whole thing. But again, that's kind of the sentimental part of it. The other part of it is just all the comedic value that would have come out of a Mrs. Doubtfire 2. You put Robin Williams' mind to something like that, and gold would have happened. Comedic gold. So
I really like the end of that movie, actually. I like that they don't get back together. Because I think every movie does it. It's cliche, right?
I guess.
I like that they tackled that, and that message at the end with, where he's telling kids in general, because he's on TV,
right.
Sometimes mommy and daddy don't get along,
right?
Or don't get back. I thought that was a brilliant end.
Okay.
I do like the idea of putting that character back in that outfit, and the idea of him sort of coming to...
I would have liked to see her career, career kind of blossom.
That'd be really funny.
And see where that TV show went. That would have been another way that they could have worked a sequel into it. I don't know how they would have done it. I just wanted to see... Sounds kind of weird. I just wanted to see Robin Williams in drag again. Because that was absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
I laughed and laughed and laughed at that movie. And I wanted to see another one. Never happened.
Interesting. All right. My number 8 is a kind of a stand-in for a whole pile of movies that I would like to see sequels to, in a sense. And I'm just picking one at random, so I'll say Deep Impact. But I'm talking like Deep Impact, Armageddon, 2012, Day After Tomorrow. I'm always...
This is your catch-all for this list.
So the day after tomorrow, or you want to see the day after tomorrow?
Yes, that's the thing. They always
does this a lot. He has this catch-all.
Like Deep Impact.
I want to make a top 10 list and have 37 movies on it.
No. But what I'm saying is, when you see like half the world destroyed, and that's what people go, they want to watch this destruction.
You want to see
I'm really curious about how does the infrastructure work now?
Yeah.
I think at the end of Deep Impact, the president's setting up, we will survive, and they showed them building the White House. How were they able to build the White House when like half the eastern seaboard was wiped out there?
They're using snow cubes.
Aliens, baby.
Aliens.
Independence Day resurgence.
One of my biggest problems with most movies is I always am like, oh, that's great ending. And to me, most movies end too abruptly. I want to see resolution. Like,
ran out of fun.
You want to see that denouement.
Well, no, I want to see... It doesn't have to be Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, okay?
One ending would suffice.
But I like to see, that minor secondary character who at the very end of the movie, they're like, hey, go for it. And then the hero goes and fights, and then it's over, and they're like, I'm like, well, whatever happened to that secondary character? They never show them again. Their last thing was that whole hoorah. Anyway, I don't like when there's a lack of resolution. Even if it's in the credits and they're showing what's happening, I'm happier then. But
so
with these big disaster movies...
80s where, they put up a picture of the person and freeze them and write, so-and-so went on to become, that's what you want?
I do like those.
Oh, man. No, man.
I do like those in movies that are based on reality, where they show how the real characters did.
I'm not saying that I need that. I'm just saying that I always like to see what comes next, right? I don't like... Yes, there's this huge explosion, and at the end, people are they're hugging each other. Oh, we survived it. Great. Now, how does it affect everybody else? How does it affect the world in general?
Okay.
That's the part I don't often see.
Mm-hmm. Of all of these, so you're saying out of all of them, though, you want to see a sequel to Deep Impact?
I'm just picking that one. Well, several of the characters that I really enjoyed in that movie, not many of them.
I think if I had to pick one of those disaster movies to see after the disaster, The World After Tomorrow would be really interesting.
2012 would be interesting.
I haven't seen that one.
I want to see how those arcs actually work out.
Yeah, it's Africa.
Is that what they do in that movie?
You got to watch that.
Wow.
It's definitely just a popcorn flick where you're just, wow, look at that. Oh, man, look at that.
Sure.
That kind of stuff.
Okay.
So.
What I'm saying is there's a lot of movies that show the disaster, and then there's a lot of these post-apocalyptic movies, but there's never that in-between period, and I love to watch that, you know?
True. It's always like 100 years after the fall of mankind. It's like, okay, but what happened the first 2 years?
Tom has a transitory nature. He wants to know what's going on in between things.
I do. Let's move on.
My number 7 is an animated movie, the one animated movie on my list, and that is The Incredibles. The Incredibles.
Pretty sure this is getting a reboot.
They've been talking about it forever.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and as far as I know, it's not there isn't one. I don't know. If it's getting one, then yeah. But The Incredibles even set itself up at the end for a sequel.
Yeah, it did. With
a little cameo of a would-be bad guy coming up. Whether they follow that or don't, I don't care. I mean, it's already there, so they probably should. But they might have rethought that, for a full movie. That would be fine. I just want to see more of that world because it was such a rich world. They focused on this one family largely, but you could tell that the entirety of the world was fleshed out with all of these other superheroes. It's a setting where superheroes are accepted, they're real, they've been outlawed. That's a lot of content to dig through and to use up. You could have things where you could have the Incredibles be outlaws and the government has sanctioned a group of superheroes they've gathered up to fight whatever is going on, but they get captured or something. You know what I mean? There's a lot they can do there with that setting. So, The Incredibles, Dos is my number 7 pick.
All right. My number 7 is a movie that I thought hard about putting on this list at all. Because the movie is almost perfect in its own regard, and it's a good ending to a story. It's based on a book, and also several of the characters are dead now, I think. But not the characters, but the actors.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe it would need a reboot, and people would scream anathema at that. But it's The Princess Bride. I'm a big fan of The Princess Bride, and at the end they go off, and it's like, more adventures! I would love to follow these people on their adventures, just so I could hear the dialogue.
Wasn't there a Princess Bride too?
No.
Not that I've ever heard of.
No.
If it was direct-to-video.
They re-released the video in, more grandiose ways.
No, so I know that, but
I don't think there was a Princess Bride.
I thought there was a bad sequel to that movie, no?
No.
Not that I've ever heard of.
No, I think, but I've never seen it.
But I like to see it go, and the only thing is I doubt it's even possible. That movie had that magic. It was
the right time, the right place. I don't know. You do that now, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it would work, right? Well, it's a lot of magic to try to recapture.
Fezzik would not be there.
Well, you would have to recast a lot, yeah.
I mean, he was with a lot of the jokes in that movie were centered around him.
Yeah,
that's true, and I agree on that. I don't know, like I said, but I'm just saying that's what I would like to see.
It's a movie you wish they would have made a sequel to.
How's that?
Absolutely.
What you're saying, yeah.
All right.
That's what
well, he did Doubtfire, so.
Yeah, that's what this list.
Yeah, really it is. Right. Sometimes they can.
This is just us wishing.
Sometimes they can, but sometimes they cannot. Yeah.
All right, my number 7 is a game. Two. So stupid. We need to stop doing game lists and then movie lists.
No, next comes albums.
We need to stop doing that.
Album.
All right.
Photo
my
album.
number 7 is a movie that I watched a lot when it first came out, and then I revisited it about 5 years ago, and I I was refreshed on how many cuss words were in the movie. So I'm tentatively saying that I would like to see a cleaner, I guess you could say, sequel, but Ferris Bueller's Day Off really needs a sequel. I really enjoyed the fun that movie had. Again, it was largely illegal fun in many different aspects, but it was a very fun movie to watch. And I think it would be cool to see that movie, those characters later in life, maybe not even that much later in life, maybe right out of college or something to that effect. Going through...
Now, the way they are now.
Yeah, that
where
would
they're
be...
like all tired and old of work, and like tired of work and old and everything, and they like get away for one day, like play,
they play hooky from
for
work
one
or
day,
something like that. Yeah, I would really.
One
like
of them
to see
dies.
that. I think it would be a good. I don't know. I just think it would be interesting to see a Ferris Bueller's Day Off 2. So that's my number 7, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
All right. Number 6 for me is one I wonder if Sam put on his list. I'm not sure. This was my favorite movie from the comedy movie list, and that is Galaxy Quest. Galaxy Quest, the ship smashes in, they get off, it shows them in a new series. Aha, okay, that's a great ending, great. I'd love to see those guys do it again. I love the aliens to come back. We need your help again. No, but I would love to see them go to another planet.
Our only hope.
So I would love to see those aliens come back. There's a new menace that they require to recruit. Go back.
Alan Rickman is no longer with us, so that's a difficulty. He was one of the main characters.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he was very good in it.
And he was very good in it. He was one of the definite comic reliefs.
Oh, he's great.
In that movie.
He was great. Yeah. But that would be great though.
Man, all my movies are being killed by death.
Killed by death.
All right, Galaxy Quest.
All right, my number 6 is a movie.
There you go, baby. Almost got you.
Movie.
I almost got you.
And I really enjoyed watching the entire Horatio Hornblower series. I believe it was on A&E.
What?
And I really enjoyed that entire thing. I've watched that entire series multiple times. And this is a movie that fits right in that same genre, and that is Master and Commander.
What?
On the Other Side of the World, I think is what it's called.
The Far Side of the World.
The Far Side of the World, yeah. But this is just, I really enjoy that era of naval combat where they're basically pirates dressed up in really nice clothes. That's pretty much what they are.
Russell Crowe grows a beard.
Yeah.
Goes to town.
The lesser of two weevils and all that kind of stuff. So
that is a good movie.
I really enjoyed the movie a lot, and I would have enjoyed, just like I enjoyed watching the whole, what is it, a 13, 14-part series of Horatio Hornblower.
I don't know what that is. You keep saying this Horatio Hornblower. I don't know what that is.
It's a set of books that they made.
I've read a book, but I've never seen the TV show.
Oh my goodness, it's a really good
Oh my goodness, there's a lot of stuff out there.
show. You guys are losers.
No.
So
at least we're saying the word movie.
Yeah, that's true. You are. I am too. Just after I say the word game.
Does that one count?
I would have loved to see 1, even 2 or 3 sequels from Master and Commander.
Far Side of the
line. I would have.
They need longer titles. Is the only.
No,
thing.
they don't need any longer titles. Just Master and Commander 2, 3. That's good enough. But that's my number. What was it? Number 6. Master.
All right, what do you got?
Okay, my number 6 is a lot like your Equilibrium choice. Again, really cool setting, bizarre movie, nothing else in that world, and this is Dark City.
That's a good.
City.
Yeah.
You don't like it? No. Dark City is like an alien movie. It's a another worldly setting.
It's almost Matrixy in a way.
It is. It really is. And they did nothing else with it. Now that movie, self-contained, is very much like a mystery, but there's no reason that they can't use the same sort of Overlord characters and just rework the rest of it to be a different setting, to be a different world, to whatever, have them be opposed. I don't know. But it would be very cool. I really like that movie. I like that setting. Very moody, very gothic feel to everything. And more would be good. So,
I like the mystery part. It's a little dark. I mean, literally, like, all the scenes are dark, most of them. Yeah. And at the end, I was like, ah. But it had almost a Matrix feel to it. At least, not the fighting part, but the vibe, mystery behind it. Yeah.
And the setting. Yeah. So that's my number 6, Dark City.
Shut up! You're trying to set me up for failure. What's wrong with you?
We're here to help.
All right, my number 5
I got a lot of money riding on you.
Movie that I really enjoyed. It has already been mentioned once on someone else's list, particularly Mr. Vasel's.
What? Dick Tracy.
It is what?
Dick Tracy.
No. I really would love to see a Galaxy Quest 2.
Oh, really? Okay.
I really would love to see that. I really enjoyed that spoof on the whole Star Trek universe. I thought it was, kind of falls in the same lines. Not so much because Spaceballs was kind of over the top spoofing of Star Wars. This was more of a tongue-in-cheek, tongue firmly planted spoofing of not over the top, not overdoing it or anything like that. It was just
right. I actually like that better than the Spaceballs
thing. It's not a satire. It's not a spoof satirical spoof where they are one-to-one making fun of it.
Yes.
It's like meta. In their world,
they're borrowing.
They are in a show, but they're just actors.
Yes.
Right? It's meta that way, yeah.
And so I really enjoyed all of the different... I enjoyed the camaraderie between the different characters on the show. I liked how the aliens were trying to mimic humans and not really doing so well sometimes doing it. I enjoyed the antagonist. I thought the antagonist was a really good villain. I really thought that the villain was... You did not like that dude and you wanted him to die.
He was villainous.
So I really enjoyed everything about this movie. I think that it could have easily had at least one sequel, if not a third as well. Or a second, rather, sequel. So that is my number 5, Galaxy Quest.
All right, what you got?
Okay, my number 5 is I would want a sequel to this reboot. The original game... Tied 2 and 2 right now. The original movie was Judge Dredd, which was a very bad film. The reboot is just called Dredd, and it's a very good film, a very violent film, an extremely bloody film.
Yes.
Very adult, but a very good one. And
very adult, I'll leave it that way.
Yes, very, very, very intense adult movie.
I actually like Stallone's better.
I'm with Sam. I actually liked Rob Schneider's sidekick. He made me laugh the whole movie.
No. Yeah. This movie, Dredd is... It's like an indie comic book movie.
I read the comic books when I was in high school. I know.
You haven't seen this.
I know exactly what it is.
Right,
I have seen Dredd, the most recent one.
Yeah.
With the Horsemaster guy.
Yeah.
And it was too much like the comic book. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
That's just the way it is. I liked how Stallone's interpretation of the character was still...
It was more Hollywood. I mean, it was definitely
more Hollywood. It was more comic booky than
this one's like gritty, like
this Batman. This one is like graphic novel.
Yeah, kind of Batman went super gritty. This is like...
Batman, his eyes turned red, and he went off the deep end. That's what Judge Dredd is.
Right.
My problem was I thought
with Batman as gritty as you can get.
Right.
They went gritty with Dredd as gritty as you can get, and that's pretty gritty.
That's way gritty.
Right.
I just felt claustrophobic. I would have liked to have seen that movie not just in one building.
Well, the budget in that movie was really small. It was
is that what it was?
An independent film.
Okay. But I felt because of that, I was like, get out of the building!
Yeah. And so that's why now that they've proven, hey, we can make a good Dredd movie, now I want somebody to make that cash flow happen in a bigger movie.
Open it up to just, in the actual world.
That would be
a building in the world.
Yeah. That would be a movie that if they announced today,
I would be really dangerous too, though.
I'd be super psyched if they announced a sequel to this. Dredd, my number 5.
All right, my number 5 is a movie that I'm surprised they never made a sequel to. It is my favorite Michael Keaton role, I believe.
Beetlejuice?
Yeah, Beetlejuice. I really like Beetlejuice. It is corny, but
Weird. Huh.
I've heard that it's rumored.
No way. A Beetlejuice sequel?
I've heard that it's rumored.
Man,
are they going to call it Beetlejuice? That'd be funny if they did.
Did they have a third one where they just Beetlejuice, ...
Can't say it.
No, I liked it, the idea of the movie, the silly comedy. There was not really I guess Beetlejuice is the bad guy in the movie, but he's kind of...
He is the bad guy.
He is the bad guy, but at the same time, he's hilarious the whole time. The girl played... I'm not a big fan of Goth at all, but she did it just well enough. It worked well. The visitors who were not afraid of ghosts, just the whole concept. And who were the... Alan Baldwin...
Yes.
Alex One of the Baldwins.
One of the Baldwins and
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis.
They played that wide-eyed couple in the world of death, and they're looking around at the football players.
I always like.
Are we gonna make the game, Coach?
I always like that one scene with the guy with the little head looking next to him. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, but
That couch. You don't want to be sitting on that couch.
But I love the idea of that movie. It was this hilarious, weird mix of. It was different than most other movies, and I love to go back to that world and see it. I think they kind of tried to do the same thing with Monkey Bone, which was an awful movie.
Yeah, right.
But it was that same kind of thing, but Beetlejuice did it better, and I'd love to see a sequel.
It's a good choice.
My number 4 is a movie that I watched a truckload of when I was younger. I remember specifically seeing it for the first time in Germany, off base, when my dad was in the Air Force in Germany. And I remember walking out of the movie theater feeling like an American again.
That's a funny thing to say.
Again, it was just I mean, I was a kid. I was in middle school at the time, but
what movie made you feel like American? Either Red Dawn or Rocky IV.
Red Dawn. Red Dawn's got it.
Gun.
Top Gun would do that too.
Okay.
Gun. And I just thought the ending of the movie was fine. You know, he comes back, the torch passes, he becomes the new instructor at Top Gun, and then boom. They cut back to this stupid love story. I want him to see him teach people how to fly how he flies so that we can blow stuff up again. And I just really...
America, basically. Call it Top Gun.
America. Exactly. And, I mean, the people are still kind of in place.
No, you cannot make a sequel to this now.
Val Kilmer will have to hit the track a bit, yes.
Val Kilmer is going to die getting in shape for this movie.
He's not. He's not that bad off. He's not that bad.
They could always have him like be where this character really fell off, like the way he's an alcoholic.
Okay,
you know.
well, if you wanted to, but
yeah, but that would only work if he came back in the middle of the movie.
The majority of the cast of that show is still around. They could still make a sequel.
There was like a joke thing like earlier this year, wasn't there?
I saw like a fake wood. Yeah, right. It was some rumor, right? Yeah.
But I really enjoyed the movie. I think that they could continue, and there's a lot of current political jazz that's going on right now that they could definitely grab a hold of and make that make that sequel. I don't know. It could be possible. I'd go see it. Top Gun, my number 4.
Days of Thunder. They're remaking Days of
Thunder.
Thunder, yeah. It's a
the kids they race now. It's all video game.
No, they remade Days of Thunder. Val Kilmer could be in that. He could be a race car.
Oh, come on, dude.
Goodness, yes, that bad.
Hot kettle here, dude. Come on now.
I know. He used to be Batman, man. It makes me weep every time.
He could do it.
All right, my number 4 is another comedy where at the end I wanted to see the superheroes go on and do more, and that's Mystery Men.
Yeah.
Because at the end they finally get their act together, right? Like, all right, I would pay to watch a movie where at the beginning they're all in their superhero headquarters and bad guys hit, and then they all argue and
come on,
fall apart
again.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, that movie's a little bit more closer to the parody than Galaxy Quest was, right? It edges closer to that.
That's actually based on a comic book.
Yeah, it is.
So it's not, I mean,
well, I know, but it's still like, here's the disco guys. I mean, they're very obviously.
Yes. The Disco Boys was good, yes. But
Spleen was my favorite. Shoot some guy down.
I know, he like
room.
knocks them out. No, I like the. Can you see me, guys? Can you see me? Yes. All right, my number 3. We have a 3-way crossover here, fellas.
Number 4, bro.
My number 4. We have a 3-way crossover with Galaxy Quest.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thought that would.
Galaxy Quest, absolutely. Unfortunately, as you said, Alan Rickman passed away, so you couldn't bring back that cast. And you probably have people like what's his name that is now kind of a bigger actor who plays like the. What's his name? Who plays like the one who's afraid he's gonna die?
Oh, Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell's kind of a bigger name now, maybe. I don't know, but
Yeah, he has been in a lot of different stuff.
Yeah. But that sequel would be spectacular. They could do anything in that setting. I'd be there. So
you could get Benedict Cumberbatch to reprise Alan Rickman's role.
Yeah, it's
possible. He can do the voice.
He could be the voice. He could be right there. That would fit.
They would have to come up with a reason, as to why. But yeah. All right. So these guys basically said it all. Galaxy Quest. My number 4.
Hey, we're hitting crossover territory some more. This is a crossover with Zee.
Wow.
And this is a movie that, at the end of the movie, I was like, are you kidding me? It's over? He was just starting to be a superhero. And that's Unbreakable.
No way.
Yes, because I
Dude, I was not expecting this on your list at all.
My short list.
Wow, okay. I love both of you guys right now.
No, but here's the thing. Unbreakable was a fine movie. I thought it was a little slow, and I'm like, okay. And then he found out that he had these powers, and then he went to the train station or whatever. And he's and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes.
And he goes, I'm like, all right, now what's he gonna do? Wait, what? Credits? It's like, are you kidding me? I wanted to see more of that, right. And I was disappointed by that.
That's one of those movies where they do that thing we were just joking about, where they do a freeze frame at the end and write what happened.
Yeah,
they did it in that movie.
What did they say happened? I don't remember.
There's Mr. Glass, and you see him being taken away, and they freeze, and they go. Like he was taken away, whatever, and then they do it for the superhero also.
Yeah, but I wanted to see like him gradually become into the superhero because he's like a person just figuring out his powers.
Yeah.
And then the movie ended. I don't know. I would really like to see the next one.
Oh,
I actually disagree with you on that being my favorite of his movies. I actually like The Sixth Sense, but.
That's creepy for me.
It is creepy.
I can't deal with that movie.
But I really did like The Sixth Sense. I was like, oh, superhero, oh, cool. What? It's over. It didn't even feel like the movie. I thought we were like at halftime.
Like Unbreakable, you mean?
Unbreakable, yeah. I thought we were like getting close. I was like, oh, there must be a lot more of the movie left, and then it ended.
Yeah. All right, is it me?
Yes, sir.
My number 3, yet again, Tom, you and I were clearly on the same wavelength here. My number 3 is Mystery Men. Mystery Men, again, what Tom said, these characters are hilarious. It's a great ragtag team, and you want to see more of their crazy adventures. Maybe it hasn't happened. It might happen. I guess they could still do it. What's his name? Pee-wee's real. I don't know his real name, but he's now just got a movie that he just did as Pee-wee. So he's kind of back in the limelight a little bit. And that'd be interesting, getting all these people back together. And it's like a really bad group of heroes 15 years later or something like that. And what are they up to now,
Right. Well, they're all in pretty good shape, too.
They could do it. This is one they could probably do still, yeah.
They could probably
so I think it'd be hilarious. I really like that movie. Mystery Men, my number 3.
My number 3 is a movie where you wanted to absolutely. It was every male teenager's dream, I guess you could say.
Weird Science.
Weird Science is exactly.
Get your minds out of the gutter.
That movie is so creepy. Now I've watched it. It is so disturbing. They make a woman, and she does what they tell her to do.
No, that's not right. What? We stop talking about.
No, we're talking about Weird Science.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking on a much cleaner plane, and that is The Last Starfighter, where you get good at this video game, and you're like the best in town. And this guy comes down and picks you up and says, "Yeah, that was a training module. We need you up in the real deal." And,
for real?
Yes. And they put him in a cockpit of the starship. Now, it hasn't aged very well, definitely.
Because
the
one with Freddie Prinze Jr. No, right?
No, Freddie Prinze Jr. No.
No, this is 80s.
And the graphics have aged considerably over the years. But with the way graphics are able to be done now, you could do a Last Starfighter sequel in a major
way. They would probably reboot that, and then that's one of those things that if they were going to touch it,
with it, yeah,
they would reboot it.
I would be okay with that. But Last Starfighter, really enjoyed that movie. Wanted to see a sequel, after I saw the original, and it just never happened. Hollywood need to get on that.
Get on that, yeah, that'd be really cool.
Because we know you're watching this.
Yes, exactly. My number 3, The Last Starfighter.
All right, what do you got?
I already did.
Oh, let's move on.
My number 2 is yet another Alien movie. There's a lot of Alien movies on my list, I'm realizing.
You're an
Actually, wow.
You want to see more of your brethren on the big screen.
2, 3, 4, 5, including this one, there's 5 movies that deal with aliens.
Half of your list aliens.
Yeah, but you know what?
Yeah.
I think it's because a lot of alien movies spend so much in movie building up.
A world,
Here's
right?
the alien. Movie's over.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute. Come on now.
It's like the settings are so strong, I feel. Anyway, number 2 is...
Wait. What alien movie was it, you guys? I'm gonna E.T.?
Independence Day.
It's a movie that tackles the aliens in a very realistic way.
Independence Day would have been my number 1 had they not made a sequel this year.
It tackles them in a very realistic way.
It's almost documentary style, this movie.
Are you talking about the one that's in Africa? District 9?
District 9, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
I just didn't like that movie.
I like that movie. I thought it was very strong. And they could easily do a sequel where... Because, again, the way they set this up, these aliens in the movie are sort of... They're like slaves or minors, or they used to be. So... And they're sort of, housed on Earth, and they deal with... They really just made a political movie and substituted aliens for,
That's exactly what they
anybody. But they went to... But after that setup and using that as the basis, they did go in more alien-type directions. Typical alien-type directions. And so I think a sequel that he pushes it even further in that direction would be interesting, because I like the look of the world. I like the idea of the setting and seeing a new alien race show up on Earth, or they leave, and I think they did leave, and they come back with something else. Whatever would be interesting, I just like I like the setting a lot. So that's my number 2, District 9, soon District 10.
My number 2 is the one on my list that I think I may have heard a rumor, but I have not seen trailers. I've not seen any press releases or anything like that they're doing a reboot or a sequel or anything like that. And it is a game that I...
Woo! That's it!
Okay. No, we still got one more. You're going to do it.
I know. No.
You're going to do it.
No.
Have you paid your dues, Jack? Yes, sir. The check is in the mail. Jack Burton needs to continue his role in Big Trouble in Little China. Really enjoyed this movie. Thought that a sequel was a no-brainer, especially with how popular the movie is. I guess it's kind of a cult following.
It's a cult classic now.
But I really enjoyed it. I thought the characters were all not realistic, but they were just very... you could grab a hold of them and just follow them along this adventure that they were going through in the movie. I thought it was ripe for a sequel. I guess I was wrong. I would love to see them pick it back up again. And Kurt Russell needs to be in it if they do.
Well,
so that is Big Trouble in Little China.
They actually are rebooting it.
They are?
With The Rock as the title character.
Oh, wow. I don't know about that.
They just shot Sam's dreams into pieces.
Kurt Russell could still do it.
Yeah, I know he could still do it.
Yeah, he's been hot lately, man. He's been doing westerns.
I know
stuff.
he could do it. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah, but he was born to be in a
Rock.
Western. All right, my number 2 is another crossover with Z.
Oh, we are on fire.
And that is The Incredibles. Seriously.
Yeah, man.
That movie ends and you're like, no, keep going.
Yeah.
Come on now. We spent the whole movie waiting for them to work together as a team. Well, they did actually.
They do. That final scene's good, yeah.
But that final scene, you're like, yeah.
Frozone is where it's at.
Frozone. Where's my suit?
Did he show up in the final scene? I can't remember.
He shows up. He's skating on ice and everything, yeah.
Frozone, what a name.
Good man.
Who was the voice actor for that one?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Was it?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I really like it for all the same reasons Z did. I love that world. They did a good job at putting a lot of stuff in that movie and making you feel for the good guys and even a little bit for the bad guy. I mean,
it was well done.
So, and even the baby. So, all right, The Incredibles. All right. So,
great.
So we're tripling Sam's die. That means if you roll,
That's garbageness. Roll it.
8.
12.
And 15.
Beat you.
I don't know. We'll just go down.
Do mine first. Mine's a crossover.
Okay, then we'll do you and then me, and I'll let Sam go last.
Okay.
All right, go.
Mine's a crossover with Sam.
Ooh.
And this is a movie that you, like you said, probably would need to be rebooted first, but that's The Last Starfighter. Yeah. Love that movie as a kid. Because he's right. That is that dream. Like, I'm so good at a video game. You mean you need me to save the universe?
Yeah, it's like a kid's dream, right? I mean, it's like I get to play video games now, and I might be recruited to go to space, Mom. Yeah, right. It's like
you don't understand, Mom.
Yes.
But it had that same feeling to me. It's in the same category that Tron was. That whole video games might really be important. But not just that. The movie's also funny. You're right. Special effects are not very good. Right. But even the spaceship, what does that button do? We only press that button when we need to press it. Yes. And the bad guys were good.
And I was amazed at how he did not puke after using the Death Blossom. I mean, good night. That thing flung you around way to tomorrow. And he didn't puke? That dude's an alien, I bet you.
Anyhow, I really like the movie Last Starfighter.
That's what the sequel's about.
That's what he turns out.
All right, my number one. I broke the rule that these guys said. Don't break that rule. They just said this now. I didn't talk about this.
Right.
This is a sequel to a sequel I'm hoping for. They did one. They did the second one, which is very good also, and now they've stopped. It's like dropped off the face of the earth. Hellboy.
Huh.
Hellboy 1. Hellboy 2 was good, not quite as good.
I can't even remember what happened in
Army,
Hellboy 2.
They they went like a weird direction with it. I'll give them that.
It still wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but they need to come back with a bang and wrap this trilogy up. It's there's so much content here. There's as much as the Marvel, maybe not as much, but there's like a lot they could do, like the Marvel universe is doing now, like DC is attempting to do and failing at. So they could do it,
He got his dig in there.
They could do a Hellboy 3, Seed of Destruction or something. That's actually what the first one is based on. But Hellboy 3. I'm excited.
Is yours a crossover?
Mine is not a crossover, and I'm surprised so because this seemed like a softball dead ringer.
What style of movie?
This movie.
What style of movie? I said movie just now helped you out.
It's kind of a cross between a sci-fi and a western.
Serenity sequel?
This movie needs a sequel. It needs a toy line. It needs another TV spot. It needs the Gambit because it deserves it. Serenity was dropped short and immaturely so.
Fan service. So here you go, everybody.
I
love you all.
I sincerely believe this. I mean, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other movies that I passed over to make sure that this was my number one, and I really do believe so. You want to talk about a rich universe, you want to talk about rich characters, you want to talk about a good storyline, characters that have depth and personality, not just some 2D facade. It's all there, and for some stupid reason, they just dropped it all. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe they got tired of the director killing off all the characters.
Well, that might possibly. But maybe he wouldn't have if he'd had more than one season.
I don't know. Have you seen his stuff?
No, I know. But anyway,
I'm surprised any of the Avengers haven't died yet.
I would be as first in line as I possibly could be if this had another movie made in this universe with these characters. I really enjoyed everything about it. I love the balance between Western feel and the science fiction space travel that it struck. Just enjoyed everything about it. Loved the characters, how they worked together, how they fought against each other. Everything in this movie I want to see more of. And so make it happen.
All right, well, those are our movies we like to see sequels for. What do you guys want to see a sequel for?
Yeah, I want to hear the comments on this one.
What information? And yes, we'll preempt you. Yes, we know we should make more gaming top 10s. Thanks. Because someone's be like, I don't want to watch these.
Who cares?
So sorry about that. We'll be back. We did a top 10 gaming list this week. It's coming, or we've already done it. Hey, hang on. We have...
It has been...
We did it yesterday.
Yes. If you are watching this on the forget it.
All right. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
Zee Garcia, thank you, everybody.
Sam Healey, see you on the flip side.
And you've been watching The Dice Tower.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.